All right, boys. Today we're talking about the state of Maplestory universe. Whether is the game doing well? Is the game doing bad? Because as you guys know, if you at least the people who checks Twitter um, every day or maybe once a week, you should know that there's a bunch of people very unhappy with this update. Mainly a bunch of whales. Unhappy about this update. So we're gonna go over what their points are, why they are unhappy, my thoughts on this, and whether this logically it makes sense or not, right? So we're gonna break it down. So, for those who's not aware of being living under a rock, right? We initially had an issue where one of the top players, Akira, he got banned, right? Whether he got banned and for what reason, let's not go into it. Which then, this is the timeline, right? That's initially that happens first. Then second, right after that, a bunch of whales started complaining about um, the current state of Maplestory. Um, in summary, right, basically is that the ascendant raffle and the reward for a hard whale in particular is too low for the whales because um, it's 250 mil plus 250 mil power crystal. In total, about 500 mil, right? If you want to convert it into power crystal only. Um, but the problem is it's not 100% win rate. Currently, it estimates on the Iron server and Era is about 50% win rate, and it potentially will go down even more next week. Whereas in the Fang server right now, it's already 50%. In the Fang server, it's already 50%. I think in Irons and Era as of this recording, it's about maybe 40% or less. And so basically by next week we expect to be like 25% or less. So that means your revenue um, in terms of knee souls is probably like 60 mil per hard wheel, and then a 60 mil power crystal, maybe like 100 mil in terms of reward. And that's like the problem for a lot of these whales is they invest a lot of time, right, to level up to 240, 250, because we initially thought whales can be low 250. They made whales level to be 245, which allow a lot of players who doesn't have the levels to be able to do hard wheel. Um, as well as the amount of HP added to whale was not high enough. So that means a six-player team of 50 million players right now, if they have the hands, they could actually clear whale, and which then caused the reward pool to be saturated. So that means like not everybody can win the rewards, right? That's like one of the main issues that people are talking about, right? I mean, this like not taking out anybody, right? I'm just giving a summary of what the problem was right now, right? Um, you know, and then that second problem is people they're upset about dynamic pricing. From the 100% to 30% to 50%. So basically, back then there's a cap of 100%, which kept the enhancement price consistent, very consistent for maybe about a year. They cut to 30%, which crashed the enhancement price. Like when I say crashed, I mean like um, CRA hats and CRA went down as low as like 1 million a tap. Like right now, if you go back to CRA, it has actually it's back to 1 million. But at one point, this was like very very like expensive. It fluctuates, right? And basically is when it went to 30%, like this area was like the 100%, right? You could see it's like very high. But then when it went to like 30%, you could see this drop here. And then when now we're back to 50%, like completely shift up a little bit and then now stabilizing around here, right? And that's like the second issue they had was management changing the enhancement price, not in a very consistent way or like very transparent way, which because by changing this, it affected their equipment price because then that devalues the equipment price. And that's like the second point, right? It's basically about consistency. And um, to sum it up, right, it's hard whale, which is the highest level of content, is not giving out enough rewards. And then the second point is consistency in terms of enhancements. So that's basically what happens, right? So what are my thoughts on this? Um, Personally, my thoughts is like I call cap, like Odyssey cap. Um, yes, I agree with them. But the timing of this is sus. Why? Because if you guys don't know me, right, I am like the warrior in terms of calling out the problem with this game. And if you scroll all the way back to my videos, I can't click on this because right now I'm in the positivity run, boys. I made this shit enhancement issues 1 year ago. Did the whales care? No, they don't care. Why? That's because they benefited from this because back then the enhancement price rigs up. It goes up. Now it rigs down, right? So you're getting a taste of your own medicine, right? Enhancement price has always been consistently inconsistent, if that makes sense. So NXPs have done nothing inconsistent about this. They have been very consistently inconsistent. That's normal, right? If anything, they're becoming more consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to break down the argument logically, right? Um, Now the second point of issue is high level players do not get enough Nisos. Guys, you need to understand this is a Web3 game with a token attached to it. So what does that mean? That means if you read the white paper, right, we're gonna open it, and then you click on NXPC, and then you gotta look at the unlocked supply schedules, right? See, every single week we get the protocol mints NXPC, and from that NXPC, a fixed amount of NXPC goes to in-game, which becomes our in-game rewards from bossing, from field monsters, and other events types, right? And then the other part is that the game company they take that for to run their own marketing initiatives, staking programs, and things like that, right? And every year, the amount that's unlocked is decreasing. Um, you can see from here, right? This is how much is going to be unlocked, right? This is the first year, right? We're currently on gear one, and then the next year, it's going to be like 90 mil, right? The next year is like 80 mil, right? It's decreasing slowly every year, right? By year 5 to year 4, the difference is 60 mil, right? But we're currently in the first 2 years, so the amount being unlocked every week and every year is still high, but it's still slowly decreasing every week. And this is in the white paper, right? They've been following it. So what does that mean? That means in the next 3 4 years, if anything, we are expecting a lower amount of total Nisos rewards in the game, right? When I say total Nisos reward, I mean like for low levels, mid levels, and high levels. Everybody added together, that that Niso reward pool will go down, and currently it's actually going up, right? So that means they're actually paying out of their own savings, right? Because if you listen to interviews from Keith, right? He have always said, right? They don't give you the entire weekly NXP mint as in-game reward. Only a majority of that goes to in-game to pay out in-game rewards. Some of that gets saved. Some of that is used for marketing and other purposes, right? So they have a bank, a piggy bank per se, uh, so that for use in the future, right? In this case, because they're increasing um, our ascendant rewards and actually a lot of bossing rewards, they're actually like taking out potentially, right? I haven't done the math. Somebody can do the math for me, but they might potentially be using part of the piggy bank savings from last year. All right. So now going back to my argument, um, like I make videos about free to play, right, farming since last year, and a lot of new players who probably not aware, but in Maplestory N or Maplestory Universe, the meta has always been free to play makes the most amount of money, mid level players makes the second most amount of money, and high level player makes the least amount of money since forever. And I have made complaints to this so much so that I was literally on the naughty list. Like anybody who's been in this channel, following this channel long enough, everybody knows I was literally the only soul warrior complaining and literally in the naughty list. Where were the whales when I was making videos complaining about this issue? Nobody. Nobody cared. Nobody was on my side, right? People just laugh at me and says, haha, he spent money, haha, he's mad. Well, now I get to laugh at them, haha, you spent money, he XD, right? I'll prove it. I'll prove it to you guys. You guys probably think that I'm bullshitting, but no, I'm gonna prove it to you. Give me one moment. Let me find the video, right? Um, oh yeah, like back then I also made like pro gamer videos. So basically, going back to pro gamers, right? These pro gamers, they extracted so much money from the protocol, and like, where were the whales back then when I made these videos? Did they supported this? No. And you guys need to understand, going back to the supply, if the pro gamers took all the Nisos, I mean, what does that mean? That means there's less Nisos for you and me, the real players, the high level players, the mid level players, the feed play, right? So if anything, the number one issue is not supposed. The whales are not don't the whale doesn't need to fight against feed play or fight against mid level players, or like, like the 100 mil players should not be fighting 50 mil players. We're all players, we'll all contribute at our own pace. What you guys need to do is get together and get rid of the pro gamers. If the pro gamers goes away, there will be more Nisos for everybody to split. Guys, like, the Nisos in game is fixed. Like, the total amount is fixed. If you took out one group, what's left is everybody gets a cut. Right? Like, it doesn't even make sense for why anybody like fighting against each other. Like, go after the pro gamers. Like, it's literally $10,000 a month on the line, and like, you know, um, Neon makes a good point. People are fighting over uh, a couple $100 a week on the top pool when there's $10,000 to be fight for from the pro gamers, right? Hey, come on, guys. Like, there's plenty of idiot videos I made last year, like, about this 11 months ago. Multiple videos. Did people care? No. So like, that's what I'm saying. Logically, what these whales argument makes is capped. It doesn't make sense. I'm calling bullshit on that. If they really care, they would have backed my points, backed my side a year ago. So why now, right? Why now? Let me give you another example. Another example, right? I see that. I just have a bunch of videos like this. This is why I was literally on the naughty list. Let's look at this video. This is the video. September 19th, Niso recovery rate. Um, Post patch, right? Pre-patch checkpoint. This is from a year ago, literally 10 months ago. And look at this. Let me show you the problem, right? And you guys can see literally with your own eyes, like, why did nobody care back then? You have 200 mil chaos Zagum, right? But you have 70 mil normal Zagum. What does that mean? That means, let me pull the calculator here for you guys, right? What does that mean? Normal Zagum is a daily boss. So that means daily boss 7 days. That's 490 million Nisos giving to normal Zagum. And do you guys know, like, anybody with zero NFT, zero account, level 90, level 100 can solo Zagum in like a minute. This is how much reward pool they were giving to free to play. 490 mil a week. How much the Chaos Zagum got? 280 mil. The free to play 1 minute, no NFT, no investment, is getting a bigger reward pool than Chaos Zigum back in September. That's nuts, guys. Did the whales complain? I complained. Did the whales complain back then? No, hell no. Nobody cared. They laugh at me. Let me show you what's today's. Today's, you have Zigum, 6 million a day. Chaos Zigum, it has doubled, 420 million. What does that mean? That means real players are getting Nisos. We have Harmony. The game is doing great things. We're having great updates, right? This is not me like stroking an XPC or like stroking Keith over here. I'm showing the data, the facts, right? Free to play extractors is not extracting as much as before now. They are MVP bronze, they are forced KYC. So that means there's more Nisos for everybody. Look, this is hard proof. I'll give you more example, right? More example. Horntail, 79 mil, right? And then Chaos Horntail, 36 mil. Why is Easy Horntail and normal Horntail getting more Nisos than Chaos Horntail, right? And it's in the 70 million range. That's 2 Horntails, right? Times 2, times 7. That's 1 billion Nisos just for Horntail. Chaos, I mean, daily boss, not even counting Chaos Horntail, right? Like, how much are we getting in Horntail today? Look, guys, 6 million, 17 million, 20 million. Do you see this now? Right? This is an improvement. This is a major improvement. This is something that we should be thanking Keith and thanking Maplestory N for. This is great. This is great news. This is the whole reason why we even have a big payout in hard whale, in hard lucid, because of this change, right? Like let's go back, right, and look at my other video. This is why I made these videos, right? Nobody, people thought I was crazy, right? Nobody backed me up, and now it's like these whales has their own agenda, right? So don't get sugarcoated. We have to look at the facts, right? And I'm showing you guys the fact. Look at this. Daily root abyss, Pierce, daily, 130 mil, dude. 130 mil. How much is that a week? Almost 1 billion. That's insane. How much did Chaos give you? 288 mil. That's right, boys. Daily balls gave you a little bit more than 3 times more Nisos than a weekly boss back in the days. Think about it, guys. Think about that. What about today? Today is great now. Look, now pairs, right? Daily pair, 19 mil, 19 mil, back from 130 mil. Look, right? Chaos mode has doubled, right? So that means people with zero NFTs, level 140 Corsair, no Legion, no NFT, no equipment, they can no longer farm and extract and dump NXPC, right? This is good. This is good for the game. This is good for the protocol. It's good for the economy. It's good for the system, right? Now let's look. Let's not look at daily balls now. Let's look at the other weekly balls, right? Let's look at normal Lotus, because we'll be talking all here all day if we keep looking at this. Let's look at Lotus, right? If you guys are wondering, you can just check out this video in my channel, right? It's not. I mean, you just scroll through it and you can see the Niso rate, right? Look at this. Um, you know, back in the day, sickness, right? Easy sickness has more Nisos than normal sickness, right? You see, easy is 365 mil, and normal is 260 mil, right? What about today, right? Today we have finally fixed this issue. This patch is the first time that we have flipped easy and normal sickness, 340 mil and 400 mil, right? Since last patch during hard lucid, easy still have more Nisos than normal, by the way. Like we just have this fixed, this patch, right? This is good. These are just things that people don't notice, and I notice it because I collect data, right? Now look at PAP, right? Um, yeah, I mean obviously PAP is still like an issue here because that could be improved on. For example, right now, you see my video last year, PAP is 500 mil, but in this year, right now, PAP is 1 billion, right? I mean, that's 500 mil available for like whales or like mid game players, right? Go after these guys. Go after the free to play, right? If you go after free to play cannot extract and they cannot dump on us because it's the free to play that takes an XPC and they sell it on the market, right? Because this is their job, right? If you go after this, everybody gets more Nisos. Again, Nisos is fixed, right? You cannot like the Niso that's minting every week. It's literally it follows the white paper, right? Let's go back. Let's go back to the video, right? We gotta look at Lotus now, right? Now Lotus, like, look, back then Lotus is 400 mil and hard mode is 37 mil. That's right, guys. Back in those days, we don't have any like we don't have fifth job, we don't have fourth job. Lotus is like super hard. There's only like one or two parties per server can actually do it. The whales, not a single goddamn whale complain about a 37 mil Lotus pool. Think about that, guys. Think about it. 37 mil Lotus pool, and not a single goddamn whale spoke up when the entire server maximum had two parties. Think about that. Why didn't they not why did they not complain like that? Look at this. This is literally right before the patch. September, only 3 parties clear it, and I was in Airi. And Airi was not like a shitty ass server like Fang. They actually have a bunch of whales. 3 party completed Hard Lotus. September. Did they complain? No. Go back to Twitter. Nobody complained. Look, normal Damien 400 mil, and then hard Damien 57 mil, and look, 3 parties completed it. And look at this, it's 57 mil. The recovery rate is 38 mil. What does that mean? That means last week there was only 2 parties that did it. So this week was the first time ever um, you have a third party swipe hard enough, and they could do hard Damien. Whales happily swipe that for a 57 million Niso pool. And you're telling me these goddamn whales are complaining about hard whale? Like, go look, search up. Like, every single goddamn whale. Well, not every single one. That's exaggerated. You have a couple whales making huge ass complaints about, hard whales Niso pool. And guys, even if it's 25%, you're getting 60 mil. Back then, you're not getting shit. Like, bro, look at this. It's 19 mil split between six people. You're getting 4 mil. Now you're getting 60 mil. You're complaining about 60 mil. What is the agenda? Think about it, guys. Don't be naive. Don't let these whales use you as a spear. Like, people in my Discord, they're like trying to defend these whales. I'm like, guys, you're being naive. They have a deeper agenda. Like, look at this. Look, this is my server right now. We have 2 more days until reset. It's 50%. I mean, Fang, by the way, so it's like less, right? Eri and Ainz is probably like 30, 40%. You guys can check it out yourself. But like, it doesn't make sense, guys. Like, see that? It doesn't make sense. Why are they not complaining back then? Why are they complaining now? The answer is simple. Very, very simple. One, you have a guy who's banned, top whale, and he has friends in the top whale. And what happens when you get banned? You start to have a grudge, and you convince your friends to also have a grudge. How do I know? The source is me. I have gotten myself banned. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I got myself banned from a bunch of Japanese Web3 games. If you scroll my profile long enough, you can see me fudding the game. Why? It's because I got my ass banned. And I'm gonna scroll my profile and I'm gonna prove it to you. Look at this. I got myself banned. Last in a game called Last Memory. I started like fudding this shit. Why? It's because I got banned. Simple as that. Like, sources myself. I got banned. I'm gonna fud it. Right? It's not just one game. If you just keep scrolling, you're probably gonna find other things I started fudding over. Um, you know, we just gotta scroll. It's been a while. It's been years. This is like 2004, 2024, man. Um, oh right. This Twitter account's too new, so I don't have other because I used a different account before. Um, yeah, because I lost my password in my email, so I guess you can only see me FUT last memories. But that's the whole point. All right, that explains one group of whales FUTting, right? Because there's two groups, by the way. Now, one group is friends with the top whale, right? If you guys look up the clear, the top whale is the first clear, and the people who's FUTting is all his teammates. The second group of whales, it's a different group, and there are two reasons why they're FUTting. And I'll show you, right? And Galby makes a good point. You know, a bunch of sponsored people makes positive posts, right? I agree with him. I'm not gonna deny that. So I'll give you the answer why a bunch of whales are giving negative posts instead of positive posts. Because remember, guys, back in September, no whales complained over a 19 million split, 6 ways. But why are they complaining now? Well, so let me ask Roke. All right, Roke is telling you the answer. The answer is MSU friends. So from around like March. Actually, no, it's way before March. Actually, right. I mean, I don't want to dig through Maplestory universe program, but look, this is the program. It started on November 6th, 2025. You guys can like go through the post. So when did it end? They were. This is where AI messed up. All right. So this is why there's no FUD from Wales. Because it started on November 6th, and this is September 9th. There's already like people upset about it. Um, starting from September, but like they're not gonna say it because by November this came out. Maple Ferns. Um, Now this is where AI gets it wrong. AI says it's March 16th, but you would assume by April people will flood, right? No, that's wrong because it didn't end on March. How do I know? Because if you go to next page communications, go to disclosure, and then you look at this. NXPC transfer disclosure for MSU friends. What's the date? July, baby. And look at how much they sent. What was the transfer date? June to July 1st, baby. Who are the wallets? Oh shit, boys, this is the covers. I'm not gonna show you. Why don't you guys run through these wallets and then tell me who are they related to? Duh. Okay. Okay, great. We're getting to the bottom of the truth. How much did they get? 1K each. 1K NXP per participant. Right? That's part of the equation. Why this FUD now? Because this program has ended. Now they can talk. Right? Um, and you'd be goddamn surprised. How much it costs? Listen. I'm not gonna sit here and deny it. If they give me 1 million power crystal, I'll be positive. And I'm cheap, you know. I and the second thing is the new program is called Maplestory Curator Program. That Curator Program, they have require you to put sponsorship on their post. This is not required for the new program. And initially, the program required you to make a post, 3 posters actually, or basically four, and they will give you 500 NXPC for those 3 4 posters. Um, and then you will put sponsorship. One or two of the whales actually join the program. Some whales also in the program in the Telegram group. I know because I got into the program. Now the problem is the first curator mission is 50 slots, first come, first serve, and they released this time at 7 a.m. game server time. What does that happen? What does that mean? That means if you're in the plane from Europe, North America, South America, it's 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And there is over 100 people in the Telegram group. That means 100 people that qualify for the program, or 100 people who applied. And that means there's not enough curated missions or tasks available for everybody. So only though end right by the time it's first come first serve, and it's the event ended in 30 minutes. So unless you literally stalk the Telegram group constantly, you will not be able to grab the missions. Once you grab the mission, you make a Twitter post and you can find your NXPC, right? That's the story. After that, people complain because they want the missions to be available for everybody, but they don't have enough marketing budget to give to everybody because there's over 100 people in the Telegram group. So now they only give 3 million power crystals for posting. Like everybody can post, right? And that's um Galby's complaint, right? It's people shouting out for 3 million crystals. Fair, fair point. Acknowledge. Me too, right? I'm not gonna stand on moral high grounds. If I can beat them, I join them. I tried to do the fight last year, nobody cared, so I joined them. Right now, what does that have to do with the whales complaining? Well, some of the whales have is also impacted by this 3 million power crystal because they're not getting 500 NXPC or 1,000 NXPC anymore. Run this through. Run this through. Run the 500 NXPC through. 500 NXPC. It's called Maplestory Hyper Challenge. I think it's called Hyper Challenge. Maybe I ask Rogue. Let me ask Rogue. Go has the answer. Can you find me? Alright, he will find. He will find it, right? Look. Yeah, and people did it. 500 NXPC kept them happy, and you know After this dried out, all of a sudden you got FUD. And it's FUD about stuff that I talked about last year. Last year. And if you look at today's game state, it's better than last year. And XPC, I mean Maplestory N has doing great things. The game has actually reversing its course. It's becoming a better game, right? And you know, in terms of Niso's giving to real players, like real active players, it has improved dramatically, right? High level players, it's normal for them to get 100 mil a week. I get 100 mil a week. You could, if you don't believe me, you check my channel. I literally make weekly videos on my Niso income. I make 100 mil a week consistently. What do you make back then as a top whale who could clear every single content? 5 mil, 2 mil. And the joke is, somebody makes who does daily boss farm and makes more than you. And that's the joke. Where were these whales at? Think about it. Think about that, boys. Um, you know, yeah. Like you could find it, right? I don't know what's the hashtag. Um, I'm just saying. You'd be surprised. You'll find a whale or two in there. Obviously, like Grok is not finding me all the posts because I'm a free Twitter user, so probably it's hard for me to find it. Um, if we do a search, maybe we'll find some. Oh shit, boys, look at that! Oh my god, guys! Holy shit, boys! Look, the whales are coming up. Oh my god, what's going on, boys? Holy shit! Let's scroll. Maybe we'll find more. I'm not gonna say who though. I'm not gonna say who. You guys think about it. Um, you know, just saying. We'll keep scrolling. We'll keep scrolling, right? Just to give you an example. I mean, obviously, a lot of these are like mid-level players and also some free to play as well. So the creator program has like a wide range of people in there. But the whales are also in there, guys. Just saying. I'm not sure if this is the right tag. Give me 1 second. Let me like double check because I can't leak the Telegram, so that's not allowed. But I could get the right search terms because I feel like this is not the right search. So yeah, I mean this is like just a rant video, so I'm not gonna like edit this. Just doing this in one sitting. Um, yeah. See, the problem is I can't find a keyword because I didn't get into the challenge because I was sleeping when I opened. That was the problem. I was literally sleeping when I opened, so I don't know what the actual post requirements is. Uh, so I need to like make sure I got it right. Just bear with me. Yeah, you just kind of have to deal with the silence in this part of the video. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, let's talk about like while I'm scrolling and looking for like let's talk about like ascendant, right? The ascendant raffle, you guys know like this is a massive amount of niche holes, right? And another point I want to make is last patch, um, if you guys know like this is 20 this ascendant raffle, it gives the amount of winners is 27 winners, I think. That means it's 6.6 billion Nisos plus 6.6 billion power crystal. Last patch, hard lucid, it's just 6 billion Nisos, right? So what that means is there's actually more Nisos right now, and then you get bonus power crystals on top. So like you could even argue they double the whale's earnings. Um, and then you want to look at mid players, right? You have hard lucid, and then you have I think normal will. I think this one is normal will. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this should be normal will. And look, it's just like you get even for mid-level players, it's their Niso pool has went from um l- like 2 million to 4 million. I made it like a long post on Twitter. So yeah, let me just go back my Twitter just to get the numbers right. Yeah, see, it's last patch like normal Lucid players they can now do like hard Lucid and normal will because of levels and V3 and V4. And the pool back then, the pool is 1.8 billion. Now you get 4 billion reward pool plus 4 billion power crystal. So like literally everybody's reward has doubled between last patch and this patch, right? Um, just like logically, like just more rewards for everybody, except for like free to play extractors, right? Because like I said, free to play extractors like this a lot less money in the field Nisos as well. All right, so let me go back and scroll this. Maybe we'll find some whales in here. If we can't find this right in the video, you guys can probably find it in if you by scrolling yourself right here. Here's the tag. That's right, boys. We solved it. We solved the mystery. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's because of his, Yes, I don't care if he flames me. Just that. Oh fuck. Damn it. I gotta 1 second. All right. Sorry guys. I had to like edit out a part because I accidentally leaked the Telegram page. So yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna edit, but I have to edit it now. So yeah, going back on my like issue. So why are the whales complaining now? Well, we have two. Well, again, right? We have in summary, we have one. It's top whale got banned. His friends need to defend him, and he needs to FUD. That behavior is consistent. When I get banned from a different game, I need to FUD. Right? It's just human nature, right? So the source is just experience myself. The second issue is Maplestory Friends has ended in July 1st, and the new replacement Maplestory Curator program initially is good. It gives 500 NXPC, but then going forward, it only gives 3 million Power Crystal. Um, so that's why more people is coming out with FUD. And to Galby's point, he's 100% valid, right? I think Galby makes a very good point. Like why, um, like a bunch of people are just not saying the truth now, because of like Curator. It's true. What he says is true. Like I'm also literally like one of them. Like he makes a good point with this. Yeah, right here, right? And I agree with him. But you know, for me, my question for them is like, where the fuck are you guys September 2025 when I was making videos? Where the fuck were you guys um, June uh, June 2026, 2025? Where the fuck were you guys when I make these videos? Where the fuck were you guys when I make this video? Where the fuck were you guys um, when I make free to play was farming 400k an hour? Where the fuck were you guys when people were making $2 an hour at pigs? Where the fuck were you guys when they rigged uh, enhancement? Right? What is your logic? Your logic is, you know, now that I don't know, I don't even know what's your logic. Honestly, like, yeah, like I actually don't know. Um, listen, listen, boys. Putting aside the curator program and me getting 3 million power crystal aside, right? I truly think the game is heading in a better direction, and I just proved it with numbers. Free to play is getting less, view play is getting more. I'll prove it to you again in few Nisos, right? Few Nisos is completely bad, like completely fucked before. Let's look at the September video because the September checkpoint video, I also have few Nisos checkpoint, right? Let's look at this. Like, look, see that? You even have the patch maintenance notice, right? So, like, the video literally speaks for itself. Now, look at back then, we don't have fifth job, so everybody trains start world tree, right? You have charge recoveries at 1.3 mil, which is like high, right? 1.2 and 1.3 on these like high level maps, right? But you gotta look at what the lower levels are getting, right? The lower level is getting 800k and 1.1 mil, right? They're like 2 mil compared to the high level of um 2 point. They're literally getting 1.1 mil, 1.3, so it's like 2.4 mil, right? 2.4 mil high level um compared to pigs, right? Which because pigs are very low level, right? Anybody can get that. Compared to pigs, which is 0.8 plus 1.1, right? So it's like 2.4 mil compared to 1.9 mil, right? The difference is not that big, guys, right? Like free to play at pigs is eating great compared to like super high level players, right? You could even go down the list, right? You can see this like level 170 Criticas, they're getting recovery rate 800k to 1.1 mil. You see that right on this video. Like again, the same story applies to even lower maps, right? The recharge is very high. Um, you know, let me see if I have other checkpoint video because I stopped making these checkpoint videos because it's like I was like I said I was getting the naughty list, right? I don't want to get in the naughty list. But this is January 2026, right? You can see the game is slowly improving. You see Zakum at this point Zakum is 400 mil now, right? Yeah, 4 mil. Yeah, 4 mil a Zigum, 7 mil normal, right? See, at this point, the January 2026 is already like they're starting to improve already. See that, right? See, that's why like I haven't really making a lot of negative videos, or like maybe because I don't want to be on the naughty list. And the second is like they really are improving. You see that the improvements already start kicking in this year, right? You see this compared to like September. You see, free to play is already getting less, right? And this part they got even less again, right? See that the daily um bossing have become less, right? Um, and then we could look at like the higher level bosses, right? What I didn't like is you see this, right? Back then, easy lose it. It's 500 mil, right? This patch we just made that 300 mil, right? Literally, right? Free to play extractor is getting less, right? We can see that consistently. Um, and that matters. That matters, right? Because like I say, right? NXPC is fixed. Now, what's kind of like weird is like they buff Papalatus, right? It's not 1 billion instead of like they buff. I think last September it was like 400, now it's like 800, and then next right now we're currently on 1 billion for Papalatus, right? Like that you call it out, right? See, Lotus 600 mil, right? Right now Lotus is in game. Lotus is 400 mil, right? They have decreased it. Let me show you in game right now today, right? This is the today's date, right? It's 400 mil. No, sorry, it's 500 mil. No difference. Sorry, I messed that up. Right now it's 580 mil, whereas back then it's 600 mil. So, there's still room for improvement. There's plenty of Nisos to move around, like from free to play extractors to like real players. Hard Lotus is 100 mil, but right now you see that Hard Lotus is 400 mil. Where did that extra 300 mil come from? The extra 300 mil come from free to play bosses like Sickness, Daily Boss, low level fields. Like because these are getting shuffled around. Like I say, NXPC is fixed. It's fixed. So if you want more viewers, you need to like make sure get your voice heard. That like you have to cut free to play, right? Make free to play spend money and progress. Um, like that's the only way you're gonna get more for your efforts, like for your investments, right? See that? Damien 100 mil. Right now, Damien's 400 mil, right? It's definitely big. Like the difference is there. Um, and then look at this. Look at the field diesels, right? The field diesels now becoming less, right? 400k. See that? 400k and 600k. It's becoming 1 million. Compared to before, field missiles is 2 million. Who forms the most field? People with play out work arrangements and people who's free to play and pro gamers, right? They're the one who farms that much. Like regular people don't farm that much. So nerfing this helps boss players, like people who don't have a lot of time. And but right now, if you look at in-game, right? If you look at pigs, it's 100k, 100k. Like free to play is not getting anything at all, right? There's literally no new souls anymore. See 70k, 70k, right? 80k, 120k. You see that 85k and 80k. But if you look at like these maps, I mean lower level, even low level fifth job maps, it's very low. It's like 100k, 200k. I mean, there's a little bit of Nisos, right? Because it's 40%, 150%. So this still scraps, right? Free to play can still progress by trading because they don't get nothing. They get like something. But whereas like people who doesn't even have fifth job, like they're definitely not getting much out if at all, right? See like 50%, 40%, they just like literally nothing. See that? But once you get a fifth job, free to play can still earn, just not as much as before, right? And that's a good thing, right? Everybody should be happy in celebrating about this. We're finally shifting from it's a slow shift. It's not like an instant shift, right? It's a slowly free to play is getting less, and people who invest in the game, people play the game, they are getting more, right? But so that's what makes me funny makes me have the funny feeling that why are the whales complaining now? Where were them last year? Why weren't they complaining last year, right? See, this nowadays I look at this like latch. Once you get a latch 240, right? You starting to have maps at 200k at 200% Nisos. Obviously, this map is not very efficient for grinding, but the Nisos is there, right? Um, you have 130% Nisos. It's like, and that's fine. If you grind like I put in multiple videos, right? If you grind these maps like starting at 230, um, you have Morash, and like Morash just has a lot of Nisos. Yeah, like that means that people who's grinding or actually makes a bunch of Nisos. So going back to my point, right? But why are there still a lot of whale complaining? Well, a lot of whale complaining is because a lot of them got to level 250, right? Most of them had playout work arrangements, which that means they cost money, and they cut whales level by 5 levels. That means their leveling becomes the value goes down, and also the exp required to level up is cut by 20%. So that means their investment literally just become like gone, and that pissed them off a lot. And then there's also like a small number of people who took vacation to grind 10 hours a day. They're also upset because they waste vacation time. And then there's also the unemployed high level whales or high level players. They also waste time because they could have spent that time differently. Leveling Legion, make progressing on other characters, things like that. But they couldn't. They had to like level to 250 for Will because everybody thought Will was 250, right? And in that aspect, I think NXPC could have done better by being more transparent and disclose that. But they didn't. So they have a right to be angry about that. But like compared to the issues that we have last year, it's like negligible. It's like small, right? Again, like in summary, I think the game is better now than before, and I'm not. This is not even a sponsored video. When I release, there will not be any sponsor tags. Just how I feel, and it's completely better than last year. And like I literally just literally evidence of that for my previous videos in the channel. You guys are feel free to look at the old channels and old rates, old reward rates, right? And look at other people, all these whales profiles, and where were them last year? Why weren't they talking, right? There's who were on MSU Friends payroll, who were on the curator payroll. Now that they're not on payroll, they're all coming out, flooding the game, right? Listen, I still believe in Maplestory. I'm gonna play Maplestory. I'll be here, for the next few months, next few years. I'll always be here. Um, I think you guys can just keep playing the game. If you like it, spend a little bit, but don't spend so much. The risk of any Web3 projects is they could go to zero. So don't spend more than what you cannot afford to lose, right? If you do spend a lot, make sure you have a hedge against your spendings or against your account, right? I have a hedge, right? I'm not gonna show that because that's negative. Um, yeah, I mean, I just want to like put my thoughts right in a video form because there's a lot of information, and I feel like and I'm being limited by X character limitation, so I just want to put that in a long form video. Hope this helps. I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of whales by doing this, but I don't give a fuck. You guys know I don't give a fuck since last year. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.